Well, hello and welcome again to River Valley Farm in a somewhat cleaner environment than what we had before, and a somewhat more organized environment than what we had before. This is not new. I've had this thing for what, 15, well no, probably closer to like 17 years now. But it's the first time it's appeared in this building. So that's a major help to cleaning and organizing. We're going to talk about this. You're going to see that in the background, but we're not talking about that because, well, that's just different. I will mention that airbags, of all things, seem to have about tripled in price in the last 2 years. So, enough about that. We have a leak to find, and I'm beginning to wonder if it's not engine oil. Because, you know, we keep losing engine oil, but this tractor doesn't smoke at all. If it does smoke, it's black smoke because the choke's stuck. Or not the choke, but the float is sticking. So we got to take the fuel tank off anyway. In order to take the fuel tank off, we got to take this, that, and this off of it. So while we're getting down to it that far, we're going to run it. We're going to strip it down as far as we can and run the thing and see what we find. Wonder how much of a joy that's going to be to get off of there. Anyway, we're going to strip it down and see what we can find. And yeah, there, that'll definitely help. Okay. Strip it down and see what we can find for a leak. I'm starting to think that the leak that I've been seeing or thinking was the steering box might well be something to do with this line to the oil pressure gauge. Not 100% on that, but like I said, we're losing engine oil, and it doesn't seem to be running out of transmission. So we're gonna go with that for right now. So anyway, now, I wonder what kind of fun it's going to take to get, well, that's great. Okay then. This nut don't even fit that. Which, probably really ain't even a bad thing. I'm not real sure how it was on there, but it is a completely different size and different thread now that the rust is off of it. So, okay then. Anyway. Beside the point right now, or is the threads just completely gone off of that? They're really fine, but I think they're just completely gone off of it. So anyway, if there are threads, there's not very many threads. Okay, anyway, on to the next part, which is try and pop that off of there without doing a whole lot of further damage anyway. Hopefully it does not require torching, but knowing my luck, probably will require torching, right? Okay, so I need to quit getting distracted with brake pedals. Anyway, this puller we're going to hope is going to work. I'm going to go ahead and use the impact on it because, well, it should be easier to do that than it would be to try and hold this and turn a big long ratchet at the same time. So, that ain't going to work. That ain't going to work. Imagine that. This is a good puller. Aside from it being Snap-on brand, it's the only ones I've ever seen that had these little crossbars on them so that you could actually pinch it together and, you know, keep it tight. against what it is you're trying to pull. Keep the jaws tight against what you're trying to pull. I'm real happy I found this one all those years ago because, well, it served its purpose many times over. I have, well, it came as a set. I have this one, which is 1 3/4 to 2.5 or 4.5 inch bar. That's what it's set for. And then I have another one that probably takes off at 4.5 and goes to 6 or something, 6, maybe 8. I don't know, I'd have to fish it out and look at it, but anyway, you get the idea. Now I'm going to take a wild guess and say we might as well go ahead and heat this thing too. Oh, hum. What's that? Hopefully propane or whatever this is will be enough to do what we need to do here, because if not, it's a whole big process to get the truck over here so we can use the acetylene. Okay, so the little propane torch did the trick. I'm very pleased with that because I really didn't feel like dragging out the other one. Anyway, I don't know exactly when they invented anise, but I really wish more people would use it. And I really wish they'd invented it years prior to what they did. So anyway, we got that off of there now, so that's good. We can move on to this shroud right here, whatever you want to call it. But first I need to take the ignition switch out and just leave it dangling, and then the choke, which is not connected on the other end, so I might as well just pull it and be done. And then that should get us down to what we want to see, other than the fuel tank, which if we have to take the fuel tank off, well, I moved the tractor specifically to this place so I can hang it, come along from here and wrap a strap around this and hang it up over here so I don't have to drain it. Even though I'm going to have to drain it eventually anyway. But this way we won't have to rig up a temporary fuel tank. We could just leave this one hanging over here and feed the carburetor gas with it as it is, rather than having to put on some sort of bottle or something in order to make it work. Okay, so this, whatever you want to call it, dash panel, I guess you could say, is becoming a bit more trouble than I thought it was going to be. We have to unbolt the top of the steering shaft to there's 3 bolts in there, I guess, but anyway, we have to take the top of the steering box off to get the dash piece off. So yeah, anyway, just thought I'd point that out real quick. That's a good fun job. All right, so the damn thing is off of there finally. It's 2 bolts to get the fuel tank off of. Best I could tell, there probably should be nuts on here. Tractor's not a virgin by any means, so I'm not too surprised. That'll get the fuel tank out, then we'll be able to look right down on top of the steering box. This is our steering motor, whatever you want to call it, right here. I don't know. Anyway, it does something, makes it easier to steer. Down here though is where we want to be, because I can only imagine that that's not supposed to be like that. So, and then again, like I keep saying, it has a leak somewhere up in this general area, or actually down lower. But either way, we need to get to this so we can work on it. So, time to pull the fuel tank. All right, so the fuel tank itself is very, very light. Probably like almost out of fuel. Matter of fact, I guarantee you we're almost out of fuel. But anyway, I'm trying to rig a strap around it so we can hang it up where we can watch down here and see what's going on. curiously enough, I don't know really what to say about this because there's nothing standing out as it's leaking. There's oil on top of the battery here. I don't know if it's... Okay, that's Croil, not oil. So that's penetrating oil that I was using. Of course, naturally, you dig into something, you find things that aren't quite right. This here hose is about done for. And that should be the supply line to the steering. I think that's what that is anyway. Yep, that's what that is. It comes off of here and goes around there into the steering. That is the lift valve. So anyway, yeah, that's what that all is. There's lots of things here that I would like to rework. This copper line and this copper line, they need to be done differently. That's just all there is to that. They need to be done differently so they're not out here hanging over top the clutch pedal, and so you can actually tighten them up. I don't know what pertains to get up underneath of there, but anyway, doesn't really matter. Let's see here. What else of any use do I have to say? Don't really know, but anyway, our leak is down at the bottom of the where the steering shaft goes down through. It's down at the bottom of there. So basically we're just gonna have to rebuild the steering column or take it apart and see what happens. Much fun as that sounds like, but that's where we're at. That's where we are at. So as I pointed out earlier, if I can find my pocket, I have lots of slack here. Quite a bit up here also. I mean, it turns quite a lot. So anyway, we may get into finding out that this thing is not fixable because these were never a popular design, I don't guess. But anyway, we've got, should be able to shim that, I would think, once you get down in there to it and you split it and you can open it up, or once you get it off the tractor, I should say, and you can split it and you can open it up. You should be able to shim that to take that slop out of there, and that should in turn take the slop out of here. But that's a long ways to come yet. So anyway, yeah, we're gonna just go ahead and take the fuel tank off, I guess. It'll be just as well off not on the tractor as it will be sitting there. That way I can fix or get a sediment bulb and proper line and all that stuff. And the more I get into this thing, the more I realize that I'm probably just gonna have to paint it. So yeah, that'll be fun, won't it? Okay, so I kind of forgot a little bit about what I was talking about earlier about the engine oil loss. We've got our line here, the gauge line from the engine up to here, and it is all good. There's no signs of any leakage anywhere above down here at the bottom end of this. So unless this runs on engine oil for some unknown reason, we have two separate issues. So that means no paint for now, but we are definitely going to look into fixing this before we go too much farther, because you know, I don't do a whole lot of road travel with this thing with tractors, but when I do, it's usually for 20 miles or something. So we're definitely going to look into this a little bit more closely, because you know, you're going down the road and both front tires are doing this independently of each other. That's bad. So I'll get this piece off and then we'll go from there. right, so fuel tank off, fuel tank bracket off, blah 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 blah, right? Anyway, come to find out there's an adjustment here and an adjustment here. This one lines up with this shaft, this one lines up with this shaft, so that may well take care of our, well, you know, this part and this part. That may take care of those. So anyway, let me try and adjust these. You just screw them in. Okay, pretty simple. Just screw them in as far as I know. Ford pickup trucks use something similar to that to keep the play out of the steering box. Ford tractors too, for that matter. But anyway, this is neither of those. But we're going to try it because we really got nothing to lose. We're still going to have to take it clear off so we can see why is it leaking out the bottom, but we can at least see if this is going to fix anything for us or not. Alright, so I ran them in until they touched and then backed them off a little bit, and there's still just a tiny little bit of give there, but it is way better than what it was before. Yeah, it's probably going to be a whole lot tighter driving now. Anyway, I should set the what'd I do with that? I love it when I put things down and can't find them again. Anyway, oh, there it is. Okay, there it is. Oh, let's, come on, get in on there. Anyway, we still have some pretty good slack in here. We've got a whole lot of wear there by the looks of things, but let's see, somewhere over here I had a new one of those tie rod end. Anyway, somewhere over here, even when I clean up I still can't find anything. There it is right there. So we got that, which again, we're a ways from that, but we got to get, we're going to have to deal with it. It's a whole lot better than what it was. It's not 100%, it's not right, it's not this, it's not that, right? But anyway, we are way better off than what we were a little while ago. So I guess next up, we need to see where, well, we don't need to see where, we just need to take it apart, I guess. Which, all things considered, we got time yet, but anyway, all things considered, I think I'm going to call that good for this video, guys. I'm going to go on about cleaning on this and get some more of the crud knocked off of it so that we'll have a little bit cleaner path when we come back to it, which will be probably tomorrow evening. And then well, tomorrow evening for me, it'll be the following morning for you guys, I guess. But anyway, I gotta clean the crap off of this as much as I can. We're definitely going to replace this hose just because that's going to get me wet in hydraulic oil, and that's not going to make me very happy. But anyway, I got to do a lot of scraping and fun stuff and get this thing cleaned up to where we can take it apart. I don't know how far apart we got to take it, but we got to take it apart. So let's just go with that for right now. Thanks for watching. I'll be back and we'll cover more on this thing and maybe a few other things. I've been, you know, so deathly ill, and I've been out bush hogging and stuff. But anyway, yeah, we're gonna get this thing pulled off here so we can figure out what's leaking, what's going on. Obviously there's got to be something at the bottom of this shaft, this one, not this one, this one, that's giving us issues. And that is only accessible if you remove it from the machine. by the looks of things. So that's what we're going to do now. I'm going to clean it up. Thanks for watching.